So RTI is already working with a lot of local organizations, of course,
Sure.
here in the Philippines as well as around the region. So what are you finding there in real layman's terms, let's say? What are the issues that these organizations are sort of struggling with as they try to find partners like RTI?
Yeah, I think that there's a number of core challenges, but it's really understanding your business. And you know, a lot of these organizations that are mission driven, like RTI, they start out with developing a technical capacity, and it's the operations capacity that has to play catch up. And I think the issues around having core funding, having independent funding that organizations can use to help them mature and grow and invest in themselves is something that's largely missing at this point. But I also think that the balance of investing in their own organizations, human resources on the operations side is also lacking. It's something that's really required for their business. But I also think that there is a lack of understanding of how to create your own business model. There are so many different business models. RTI has one business model, Cardno and the Asia Foundation have another. And they work for those organizations. And I think it's a big challenge for local organizations to figure out what's the cost of my business, what's the best structure for me, and how can I make sure that I apply consistency to that model with every client that I work with. And that's some of the big challenges, not just here in the Philippines, but elsewhere in some of the projects that not only that we run, but that we support. And so we see those themes coming through throughout the process of working with these organizations. And I think those are primary issues, but then there's secondary issues around board management. What is a board supposed to do for you? What's their role? Are they supposed to raise money? Maybe, if that's what you've required of your board. Are they to give technical expertise? Sure, if that's what you require of your board. So there's a lot of lessons that can be learned. A lot of, some people say best practices, some people say good practices. There's a lot of good practices out there. But I think organizations need to take those good processes and have the advice on how to internalize them and structure them for their own needs. And that's also to say, we talk a lot about good practices, but we don't talk about failures. And I think in countries like the Philippines and Indonesia and Thailand, where you see the NGO and the CSO and the research and the think tank sector really growing, there's a lot of success and a lot of failure. And I urge these groups to really look at both sides of those so that they can learn from both the success and the failures.